Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for taking the time, as always, to tune in with me and for showing up for me. It makes me want to show up for you. So today I'm gonna jump straight into it. As I always say, I like to try and keep these videos as tight as possible, and I know that I drop a lot of information pretty quickly. So if you need to pause the video or the podcast at any moment, then please, do so at any time. First things first, if you're new to my channel, my name is Goliath. That is my artist, my publishing name, my witch name, my magical name, the name that I go by in the public. Basically, that's what I mean. And for those of you that know me, you know that I'm into psychology, spirituality, making art, and a lot of different things, but pertaining to more on the heavier, real side of life. So if you're new to the channel, you can go scroll through a lot of the videos that I've done. I've covered the dark side of astrology, and I've also covered the light side of all of the signs. Also, I've done a few videos talking about my thoughts on the occult, and lots of other different bits and pieces. So please feel free to scroll through those videos and have a look if you feel so inclined, and some of the topics on hand of, something that you're interested in listening to. Okay, so today I had a minute and I'm just kind of like giving it a bit of a quick go. I don't have any notes. I'm just going off the top of my head. So today I am talking about, yes, you've probably seen it already. Yes, I'm talking about the narcissist. I am talking about the tips and tricks on how to deal with them and how to understand what you're actually dealing with here. So there are lots and lots of videos out there pertaining to this topic, as I feel it's a really, really good thing that out there in the world, it seems the word narcissist is now starting to trickle into the collective, and people are starting to really call out this behavior, call out these individuals, and start to understand the psychology and the damage that occurs when you're dealing with someone who is on some pathological scale, whether that is a full-blown psychopath, narcissist, whatever, sociopath, whatever. But we need to understand that these individuals are everywhere. They're in the workplace, they're at home, they're in the family, they're the friend that you know. And so this video is pertaining more to the friend, the narcissist friend or the narcissist parent. So, if you are a survivor of a narcissist, then I just want to publicly say thank you. You're doing the right thing. You've made it through, because we have to take the time to really understand that a lot of people don't actually survive this. A lot of people do not survive this. They are dead. Yeah. So first things first, if you're dealing with one, it takes a lot of bravery and a lot of courage to recognize it and then call it out, or go no contact, or do what we call ambivalence or indifference, where we kind of grey wall them, where we have to pull away the divine part of us so that we can actually sustain ourselves on some level that's functional. Being with these individuals is all about you being under their control, you being dictated to. You must comply. You must comply to the narcissist. So a narcissist can't actually have a connection with anything or anyone outside of itself unless there is a service to the narcissist. So that's the thing. So the moment that you start to pull away, or you start to say, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, hey, enough's enough, the narcissist is going to go into a existential crisis. Now, jumping into it, if this is something that sounds familiar to you, then please continue watching. So the narcissist, by default, it's actually an attachment disorder. So they have problems forming connection and disconnecting from the connection. So attachment and detachment disorder, that's what it ultimately is. So cutting it really simply, the narcissist is basically in a level of survival mode where usually it starts in childhood. Their parents didn't love them, didn't give them what they needed, or wasn't validating them. So the narcissist has to create basically kind of this alter character which separates themselves from their true self, so that they are giving the family and the parents what they need so that they can survive. The problem is when you do this, it actually separates you truly from who you really actually are, your true authentic self. And so years and years and years of being in this behavioral pattern basically means that they are completely detached from their authentic self. They have no idea who their authentic self is. And they take this way of being out into the world, out into relationships with people, with work colleagues, with friends, with everyone around them. It's in this survival mode, which is all about belittling other people, inserting themselves into someone else's life, trapping someone, whether that's financially or trapping them in a situation where they're dependent on them, like codependency, this type of thing, because it makes them feel safe. Okay, that's what it is. And let me get this clear. There is no relationship on planet Earth that is healthy or sustainable in any way when it comes to a narcissist. It's not even remotely possible. Okay? This is a being or a person that can't actually exist unless the people around them are maintaining a level of compliance to the false reality that they have built with other people. So we're probably going, whoa, what? Let me explain. The narcissist has no true sense of self. Okay, it is only mirroring back to the world what the world or that individual wants so that they can get the perception of connection. But the narcissist can't go deep. You're never going to have deep conversations with them, ever. It'll always be about extraneous variables outside of themselves. It's never, ever going to be about them checking in with you, asking you how you're feeling, how you're doing, or even them talking about their feelings and how they're feeling, because they can't. They're not connected to themselves. They are not plugged into themselves, into their true authentic self. And this is why they can't actually go deep, because they can't sustain connections on a deep level where we're actually really just checking in with each other. Okay, they cannot do it. All right, it's not even possible. So the way that they live is by basically energy vampire. They just live off other people. They can't sustain what we call source or connection or supply unless it's coming from another party outside of themselves. So they've always got to have someone that is supplying them energy, supplying them love. So anyone who has like capacity, like any type of empathy, any type of compassion, any type of love, they're going to choose you. They're going to choose you, and not in some kind of like lovey-dovey way. They're choosing you as they are preying on you. You are the victim, okay? You are the prey. They're going to look for your weaknesses. They're going to try and love bomb you, to try and make you feel safe, to say that they can financially help you, to supply for you and connect to you. But this is all a mechanism for traps. It is a snare. It's a snare, okay? So it's not real. And so when you get older and you start to grow up and you start to really come into your own sense of self. By the way, it's quite difficult to do that when you're around a narcissist, because they are not committed to your self-development. They are not committed to any level of growth that may happen with you. You have to stay the same way that you were when they met you. And they will block anything that actually enables you to grow. They'll never encourage you to grow. If you've got a side hustle going on, or if you're trying to make something to try and improve your life that could be a threat to their sense of connection to you, they'll destroy it. Or they'll never even acknowledge it. They'll never ask you. If you've got friends like around you, or even if you spend too much time away, they'll be like, when are you coming home? When are you coming home? Like, they are checking in with you constantly. They are stalkers, professional stalkers, okay? The narcissist is watching everything that you're doing because it's living through you. It's feeding off you. I know when I say it, I know that's a bit extreme, but they are a human being, but they can't live on their own. They need supply, and they have different supply points. Usually the narcissist has a main supply point, so it's the one person that mainly gives them the supply. But if that is interrupted, or if that supply is threatened, they will destroy anything that could threaten that, okay? And they will use emotional blackmail on you. So say, for example, you come to them for support, or you make the big mistake of ever sharing anything with them that's emotional, like how you feel, or if you're sad, or if you're upset. They don't want to hear that. They don't give a fuck about you and how you feel. They don't care about your best interests. It's only about their best interests. All right, so get that straight. And if they did, it would just be to try and manipulate you again. So the narcissist is an attachment disorder. It is a personality disorder. And if you're listening to this video, listen to me. Please listen to me. I swear this is resonating with me right now, and I need you to understand this. Nothing that you say or do will change what is going to happen with them. Will change anything. There is nothing. The moment you interact with them, they're just going to use that against you. They'll even tell you that you're narcissistic. They flip everything back onto you. It's impossible to deal with them. They are impossible. The only way to deal with them, and I wish there was another way. There is no other way. You have to remove contact and go what we call no contact. This cuts off the supply that the narcissist so desperately needs. All right. And then they'll go into a smear campaign, and then they'll go into whatever manipulation they can try and do to control you. If they can't control you, they're going to try and control how other people see you. All right. So that's how they work. All right. They are a nightmare to deal with. Trust me. Okay. So as far as they're concerned, you're like a doll. That's how they see you. You are a doll. And like a doll, you will be picked up and put back down only when they want to play with you. You are not their equal, and they will always keep you off balance. So one of the things that's really important when you start to recognize the narcissist and their little games and all of their nonsense is that you've actually been supplying this individual the whole time. Without your supply point, they can't do shit. That is their way of controlling your mind and always keeping you off balance. They're always undermining everything that you do. Okay? Everything. There's nothing that you'll do that they won't like comment on, or say you're a bad parent of your dog, or maybe you're a bad parent of your kids. Maybe they make snide comments. They always are trying to knock you off balance, to keep you off balance. And they really block anything that could come in that could potentially help you grow, that could potentially make you stronger or more wealthier than them, or smarter than them, or even just happy and just having other connections. It's like tar. I was talking about this to a friend the other day. Dealing with a narcissist is kind of like, did you guys ever see that Disney animated film? It was like the Briar Rabbit and Briar Bear, and how he made the tar baby, and it's like he's stuck in the tar. It's like that. It's like when you get caught up with these people, these narcissists, it's like black, thick tar. It's all sticky, and you can't really kind of get it off, and you try and shake it off, and the more that you touch it, the more you interact with it, the worse it gets. That's what it's like. And that's super, super toxic. Okay. So it's just an absolute nightmare to deal with. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to get your power back. So so you can start to regain control. Now, this is very difficult to do if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist for a long period of time, because they know all of your weak points. They know you. They've spent so much time and energy at the start trying to mirror you so that they can enslave you and trap you, because you're basically an emotional slave to them. Okay, so they're always in control. And always manipulating you into situations that always works out the way that they want it to be. And say for example, you're saying no more. This is how you ultimately take your power back, is by taking your time and your energy and emotional validation that you're giving the narcissist back. Okay? And this is very difficult because when we've created those neural pathways in our brain, in some cases, if the narcissist has isolated you, they've blocked you from having potential connections with other people. Think of it in a really sick way, which is something that I'm coming to terms with. It's like having a pimp. It's a pimp. It's someone who benefits off you in a way that keeps you around, in a way that would be damaging to you, but it's by default. So say, for example, the pimp would encourage the sex worker to go out and sell their body for money so that other people can touch her or him or play with him or her for money, and then they'll get money to report back to the pimp. The pimp gets power off this. It also understands that, or the pimp understands, in the narcissist being the pimp in this scenario, is that what they're actually doing is they're getting supply off you, but they're also in that situation or that scenario that the pimp has enabled, is that they're trying to get you to continue to stay doing this line of work, because what will happen is that you can't really form like strong, healthy connections or meet a potential partner if you're kind of engaging in that level of work. And of course, that level of work is very, very dangerous to your emotional self, to your soul, to your body, to just letting people into your life and touching you. So think about how that would be very damaging to someone. Now, if someone really, really cared about you and really had your best interests at heart, they would never encourage you to do that type of work, because they would know that you're better than that. They would know that you deserve better than that. You should be able to do better than that. And they wouldn't put you in situations that would be ultimately limiting and damaging to you in the long term. Okay, ever. Now, the problem with the narcissist is if you ever actually said to them, hey, this is what you're doing. I never said that. I didn't do that. I've always wanted the best for you. Or it'll be the type of colleague at work, or the manager at work, or the HR manager at work, or the executive manager at work, whoever the fuck is at work that seems to be on some higher level, is that they'll always say, if you ever need my help, my door's always open. And it's like you're the last person anyone would come to for help. Okay, you're the problem. So this is the problem. What do you do when the problem is them? And the problem is, you can't resolve the problem without approaching the problem. If they are the problem, that's the problem. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. I know I'm jumping in pretty hard, but this is what's going on here. So there is only one way through. There is only one way forward. You must remove the source of supply from them, the validation that the narcissist gets, and take it back. So don't think about them stonewalling, keeping them where you need them, pulling back so they're not constantly knocking you off balance, constantly with their remarks and their comments. If you say today's a hot day, no, it's not. Today's not going to be a hot day. If you say it's blue, no, it's not. It's purple. If you say it's green, it's black. It's up or down. Everything that you do, it's always trying to keep you in a place that is objectifying you and devaluing you. Okay, and that's how they do it. This is how they do it. Now, it's not impossible to go into a mindset that can enable this, but you will not be able to break away from these individuals if they've got their hooks into you, financially or emotionally, until you start to recognize what the fuck is actually going on here. And until you do that, nothing can change. Now, this is very difficult, but once it's been a couple of weeks or a couple of months and you've started to really pull back a bit and you've started to, what happens is all this life starts coming into your brain. All of these new ways of being start just pouring into your consciousness. And you're like, wow, like life is so good. Like life is so much better. Like I feel so alive. I don't feel so constantly drained all the time. And it's kind of like filtering light through a canopy of trees. Like it's coming down into your life. And now your life has possibilities. You don't feel so trapped with this person. You know, have you ever been around a person where it's like you just feel so drained and uncomfortable and tired and just completely discombobulated when you're around them? That's like narcissists. That's what they do. Okay, they'll leave feeling wonderful, but you'll be like need a drink or you'll need to take some medication after they leave. So part of the narcissist is that in order for them to stabilize their own sense of self-concept, which is the illusion of who they think they are, but it's not who they really are, they create an illusion to the outside world, and then they need other people to comply to that illusion by interacting with them in that illusion. Okay? And that's how they do it. That is how they do it. So when you start to pull away from them, that's when you're able to start what we call self-soothing. You can start to stabilize yourself. The further away you get from them, the more stable you will be as time goes on, because you're breaking the illusion. You're starting to understand that this person or this individual is toxic. This relationship was not healthy. Okay, so get it in your head. It's just the way that it is. And they can't connect to people, okay? The connection that you had with them, the relationship that you had with them wasn't sustainable long-term. And also, if you look at some people that are on the psychopathy scale, whether it is psychopath or even if it is, Asperger's, these people can't sense empathy. They have no ability to understand empathy. So without empathy, you can't connect to someone. They're not connected to themselves. I did do a video talking about what to do when they're emotionally unavailable. Well, what you do, you run for the hills, okay, as quickly as you can, because by default, we need to understand who these people are. So quite often, as I've come to understand myself, is that you know nothing about them. They share absolutely nothing about themselves with you. You don't know who they are, but they want to know all about you. That's how they are. These guys are sitting back on their Instagram, watching your every move. On Facebook, watching your every move. They have nothing going on in their own life, because you are their life. You are their focus. That's how they live. They need that supply from you. And they create situations that trap you in that supply, particularly financially. So they might give you money or lend you money. This is a safeguard for them to think that you'll never, ever be able to get away from them. And they'll put you in that debt. Even if you can never afford to pay it back, that is their safeguard of that someone else won't leave them. Because it goes back to their childhood trauma, okay? Whether it was through their parents or whatever it was that happened to them, that's not our problem. That's their problem that they'll never deal with. They'll never be vulnerable. You'll never see them share emotions. And if they do, it's just to emulate the act of emotional attachment, but they don't feel emotions. And then the problem is if you ever cry or you show them that you are emotionally upset, they're like, oh, toughen up, have a glass of concrete and harden up. They're not going to be able to show compassion to you or help you soothe or help or be there for you in that level. They're always superficial. Everything is about money. It's about looking a certain way or going to a certain place or showing some higher value of level to society. But underneath it, they can't connect to empathy. They don't care. You could slit your throat, like you could have your throat slit in front of them and they just would step over the top of you. A lot of them don't have that deep emotional ability to connect. They will turn your kindness into weakness. They see emotions as weak, all right? Now, narcissists hate change. They hate any level of change unless, of course, they're the one initiating the change. That's another one that we need to understand as well. And you know that. You can see it. That's how they are. You are their slave. That's how they are. And the dynamics of these games that they play in every single interaction is just another form of control. It's another form of manipulation, of disinvalidating you, of belittling you, of humiliating you, and keeping you in a place that could never grow. Now, as you start to grow up and you look at this, I started to get really fucking mad because I have listened to a person that clearly is mentally ill, doesn't have my best interests at heart. And also, I've wasted so much damn time and energy with this person and their lies. And I believed their lies. I swallowed them down just as easily as I'd swallow down a pill, like a Tylenol or something. And now I've got to kind of recalibrate and work out what is going on. But until I worked this out, and it took me a hot minute to really understand it. And by the way, guys, you can feel it when you're around them. You can feel something isn't right with this person. You know that. Listen to your gut. Listen to that. Okay? So it is what it is, but I just wanted to share some things with you. So you have to kind of really pull your energy back and really focus on what really matters. Now, the problem is because they're so manipulative, they change quickly. So the thing that they commended you for yesterday will be the thing that isn't good enough today. They'll tell you one thing and the next minute they'll change to the opposite of what they just said. They'll look out to the world and like politics and shit and look at it, oh, like that's fucked. But in their own community or in their own life, they will never take any level of reflection. They don't like to reflect on anything because it's too painful. Because underneath it, the narcissist is not strong. They are a coward. They are weak. Okay. Their energy always comes from a place of fear. That's where all of this comes from within the narcissist. They can't sustain a life force in themselves because they have no identity. They have to always be in this elusive state of creating little pockets of connections with other people that sustains these illusions with other people, but they're not real. Okay, so we need to understand that. They'll flip a switch and be a different person and go, hey, how you doing? To the next person. Now, and that's also as well another thing. They have no loyalty. Or they'll have loyalty to you if you supply them to a supply point. They'll protect that supply point, but it's only because they need you as a supply point. All right, so you need to understand everything I'm trying to say to you because you need to reinforce this back into your own consciousness to really get it and really understand that's your free will, your sovereignty, and to your right to enjoy life is not theirs to take. It's yours, okay? They're going to siphon it away from you. That's what they do. They have to try and change the way that you see the world to comply to the way that they see it so that they can control you. This is how they do it, okay? Whether it's in a positive or negative way, it doesn't matter. This is how they are. And they'll just keep taking and taking and taking, and they will keep you trapped until it gets to a point where it's like the frog in the pot. The pot just gets so hot you can't jump out. It's too late now. You know, they'll keep you financially in a place where you could never really escape this paradigm. And then you just grow old and now you don't have the time and energy to actually regain control again, to be in control of your own life later. And so it's always based on laying traps. They love to project themselves in a way to the outside world where they're like buying people things or showing people up things, or always projecting how intelligent they are and how smart they are and how wonderful they are. But it's not real. It's not an act. Okay. It's not real. It's just an act. It is just an act. These people aren't capable of love. They are not capable of real, committed, loving, caring, stable connections. They can't. And when you look at their track record, you can see that. If it is on the psychopathy levels chart as well, you'll notice with some of them, they don't pursue relationships. So because the mere fact that they may not be able to get a partner that's on like the level of where they think they are, they would rather not ever risk dating and then face rejection of a partner that is that they would deem would be worthy of them. So they'll just pretend like they don't actually have like emotions, or they won't date or pursue relationships. By the way, life is relationships. The quality of our lives is directly proportionate to the quality of our relationships. So if you've got a shit relationship, you must leave it. If you can't repair it, then you've got to be strong and be able to get to a point where you're able to leave that dynamic and break the hold that these people may have on you. Okay. So that's it. Also, they always have to be around people that are higher in sexual marketplace value than them. So, for example, if they're older, then they will use money as a way to exchange to the other person that's younger, because the person who's younger has a sexual marketplace value that's higher than theirs. So they'll always be like, they like to be around the pretty people. They like to be around the ones that look good, the ones that are high in value, because that makes them feel good. They don't want to be around the old sick one or the fat one. Okay, that's the truth. And if they were doing something that was nice for someone who was sick or old or weak, it would be just to look at what I do for you. I do so much for you. Look at all the things that I've done for you. It's just another form of emotional blackmail. Okay, they don't give a fuck about you. All right, it's just to make them look good. Ego can be very, very charitable. Very charitable. Okay, do not forget that dynamic. Even if it's not reciprocated, then it's not going to be a basis of equality in a relationship dynamic. It's not possible. Okay, and there are no exceptions about this. There's no if, buts, or there's no way around this. We're talking about a connection disorder. So if you're going through a breakup with a narcissist, please know, please be safe. Get a plan and work the plan. I have got videos. If you scroll back through my playlist, you'll see videos on dealing with a narcissist, tips and tricks. Be careful. Remember, this was not a normal relationship, and it will not be a normal breakup. All right. So I hope that all of this helps. You've been letting someone basically control and steal from you. Okay. If you can control someone's mind, you can control their whole life. And at one point, maybe you were needing help. Maybe you were a victim. Maybe you were incapable of defending yourself. And then they come in like white horsing you. But remember, it's gone. It's a trap. All right. So you're trapped where they need you. And that's how they are. And they can't produce real emotions. They can only mirror emotions back and then have the projection of that to appear a certain way. But underneath it, the narcissist is shallow, they're superficial, and some of them are even quite stupid. Okay. They don't have emotional depth. They cannot connect with you in a heart level because they are not connected in a heart level. And if you don't have heart connection, you have fuck all to connect with to begin with. I know it's hard to hear, but it is the truth. And whether it's your mother, whether it's your father, whether it's your brother or your sister or your friend or your colleague, you need a plan of action to stay safe from these people as well. All right. So I hope that this makes sense. And I've been able to uncover some of the secrets or give away some of the tricks to deal with these toxic people so that you can start to get a grip on reality and start taking back control for yourself, because life is worth living. It is. All right. You're here for a reason, and you're not here to be someone's puppet or to be someone's scapegoat because they need to feel powerful, so they're going to control you and manipulate you. You have to get into reality to build a life that is real. All right, so lots of love. I hope this video helped. I know it's been a heavy one. If you've got any tips or tricks, or if I missed anything, please leave it in the comment section below. I'm always happy to read the comments, and thank you so much for listening to me today. I hope that this has helped. I really do. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to share the real stuff here. So please share this video with anyone who might need to hear it. And also like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out, and it makes me feel like people want to listen to this type of content. But yes, this was another video coming from my heart, guys. It comes from my heart about how to deal with a narcissist. Lots of love, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.